Newsfirst exclusive.
We live in a transforming world, especially in technology, and with this, we've faced plenty of obstacles, especially in adopting to these modern technological methods. We've gone from mobiles, PCs, to artificial intelligence, and also in the modern era, virtual reality. Now, amidst all this, a key topic that is being discussed is cybersecurity. Now, what is cybersecurity, and how does cybersecurity help us in the present to overcome these challenges that we face in a rapidly transforming world? Now, the 10th annual Cybersecurity Summit, organized by CICRA campus and together with Daily FT, addresses issues related to this. Hello and welcome to a News First exclusive. Here with me, Juad Abdin, and to discuss these matters today, I have with me Bhushan Ratna, the Group Director and CEO of CICRA Holdings, and also Indika Dizoisa, the Strategic Advisor of Huawei Technologies Lanka Co. Private Limited. Hello, gentlemen, and very warm welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi.
So to start off straight away, I mentioned about cybersecurity. I spoke about how the world is rapidly evolving in technology and how cybersecurity is a key topic nowadays. Mr. Bhushan, just before we get into deep dive into the topic, can you just give us a brief about cybersecurity? What is cybersecurity and how it has come to our lives and how much it is making an impact in our lives now with this world transforming in a technological way?
Yes. As we all know, and very correctly that you mentioned, that we are in a highly developed technological world, and technology keep improving, I would say, day by day, not even year on year. So in this context, whether you're a private organization, whether you're in a government organization, or whether you're an individual, cybersecurity plays a major role. Why cybersecurity plays a major role is because earlier what we did was we kept everything in hard copy. We keep it inside the office, we probably put it in a locker, we lock the door and we take the key. So we have the physical security who's protect the office, and then you have so many gateways or doors that you have to either break open or with the key to reach to that document that you have. But now today that document is in the cloud. Nobody knows where this, I mean sometimes even the person who's hosting the document also don't know which part of the world this document is lying. So in that context, like you need to play a major importance on cybersecurity in terms of your protecting your data, protecting information that you are hosting in the cloud or even for that matter on premise. So the difference is that if somebody has used my phone when I go out to the loo and come, so I see the phone is this way, then I know there is someone has tried to play with my phone. So I can put the CCTV cameras and see who tried to do that. But in the cyber world, as we speak, there's someone has taken your computer over and maybe sending an email to somebody else while you are doing this session here. So this is what is happening in the globe right now. Now we see a lot of scams. Even in Sri Lanka, we see the banks keep sending messages after messages not to share your OTP with anybody. And now people says their WhatsApp being hacked. It's actually not WhatsApp being hacked, it's basically your mobile being hacked, and somebody has got into your mobile and sending messages to all your friend list in WhatsApp. So like there's so many things happening. So in this era, the biggest I would say is the need is the break of the entire value chain of cybersecurity is the human. So what we are doing right now is basically building the capacity of the human, where most of the time we see as ignorant computer user to be knowing what is happening in Sri Lanka as in the globe, how do you protect yourself. So the minute, I mean we all love technology, we need technology, we don't want to go to the bank now, we want to do the banking on your phone. So we don't want to, open a computer and start sending an email or log into a web page. We want to do that from the phone. So how secure is it? While you do a banking transaction, is someone watching? There's a man in the middle, which is called whether he taking your passwords and the usernames and all that, and when you're logged out, is someone else is logging in. So there are so many things happening, and today is in 2024 the buzzword in cybersecurity is a zero trust, where it says you don't trust anybody. in an organization. Earlier we say the CEO sends an email, you don't question the CEO, you don't ask anything, you do what he says in that email. But in today's era, you can't do that, because it might not be the CEO who's sending that email. There's someone in the middle on behalf of CEO sending the email. But if you act on that email without verifying it, then there is something wrong.
Now, just before we dig deep into the conference, I just want to touch a little on cybersecurity as well. So I'll come to Mr. Indika right now. So we spoke about cybersecurity. What are the most critical challenges Sri Lankan organizations and also individuals face in terms of cybersecurity, and how can they address these issues?
Yeah, I think Bhushan spoke about on high level, many challenges. It can be for banking, finance, or any corporate or government or any individual. So the idea of there's no ready-made recipe as such. This is how you can protect it. So why we are getting together as an industry today and organizing such conferences together to bring the knowledge together. So these conferences will bring a lot of people across the world to Sri Lanka, and also which is Sri Lankan community will be sitting together and discussing whether these similar things has happened in the other parts of the world and what they did, what are the remedies, what we have done. So this is completely a learning curve. So why this is so critical for us is that we are talking about we are moving into a digital economy. You are government services, but you take from a government point of view, it is getting digitized. Most of the things what we today if you want to get your revenue license, we are taking online right now. So somebody wants to hack your system and probably that data is leaked, there's going to be a major issue. So even if you remember when you went to a bank last, I don't think I can remember, because everything is in your phone. Now how do you protect this? So this is becoming critical. So if for a common person, from a professional, you can be anybody in the private organization, corporate, or in the government, this has a mandatory requirement. Now the key is do we have that skilled people in the organizations? That's a challenge, right? So you go digitize, you put everything in cloud. Do you have people which is all the staff is aware about protecting your password, what can be shared, what cannot be shared? These are the challenges we have. Now how do you create awareness across the board, starting from your CEO to the Director General of a government organization or the Secretary of a ministry to downstream? So everybody plays a critical role. As Bhushan mentioned that the point of somebody taking a document away, now somebody hacking into your system, you can take the entire database out. So now if somebody gives a password out from a corporate point of view or a government point of view, the institute, that it's like your doors are open, unlocked, and you're gone home. Somebody can just walk in and take everything out. So this is where we need to really understand, older days. Maybe this is not the best example, but if you think somebody looking at robbing a bank, we have seen in movies, you prepare, you have your weapons and the vehicles and everything, and you break in and you have different ways of opening the locker, etc. But somebody today seated in a AC room will get into the system and you do all the transaction within no time, nobody will notice even, and job done. That months of planning and the effort you have to put to rob a bank versus somebody does it with couple of minutes. So this is the world we are real time we are living in right now. And now, like the security guards you had with heavy weapons, you need to have that heavy security in the cyber world, which is again, it changes every day, every hour, and we need to keep updating it. And again, the factor is the people. If the people are not aware about the risk, we are very, very much vulnerable. So all about we are getting together as a community to address this for our organizations, our Sri Lankan government, and for as a nation.
Yeah, so you spoke about the lack of skilled individuals. So I'm coming to you again on that question. What can we do to make sure that we bridge this gap and ensure there are skilled professionals in this sector?
Okay, so one thing is obviously we need to have the number of people. So which is our education environment is creating people with cybersecurity skills. So that's one angle, which is the numbers need to get increased. And also these people need to be placed within the organization in the right place. So now if you take a corporate board today, there's a mandatory requirement, you need to have somebody with a finance background. So do we have somebody in the corporate board to take the responsibility of this cybersecurity environment? So that will become over a period of time, that will become a mandatory requirement, because unless you take you take the finance control, or you have your whatever the finance board subcommittee which is set up, similar way you need to have this cybersecurity environment. So it starts from that top level, coming from the board level, then the IT infrastructure, who CIO to CTO who manages that, then it goes to everybody who has a device which is accessing your system. Because you have access with your password and login ID, you can get it to your corporate environment. Then again you have your customers backend. Again you need to make sure you educate your customer also. If I'm using a bank application, which is I have a login and a password, which is I get into the bank system. And also if that is getting compromised, somebody can get into the bank system using my credentials. So it's all the layers has to be really looked at it, and we need to have people create awareness. We have to keep updating them, because when the attackers doesn't come in same way, they change every day, they have different tools, different mechanisms how they get in. So now recently we are seeing in Sri Lanka also, a lot of people are saying, as Bhushan mentioned also, that the WhatsApp has been hacked. That means it's not the case with the phone. So that somebody can get into your bank application in your phone as well and get into it. So same way, which is we need to create that awareness level, that's becoming a super critical, and we need to keep our eyes and ears open on this entire environment.
So I think we covered a vast area within that very short period of time. I think that this discussion could go on for days as
Absolutely.
well. Such a topic that we could talk on in the present era as well. Now, coming to the summit, this is the 10th annual Cyber Security Summit. Now, before I deep dive into details of this summit, Mr. Bhushan, why was this summit organized?
Right. So actually my organization came into cybersecurity world 13 years ago. So when we walked in, and no one, including my family, said, look, you are going into a market, very niche market, no one knows about it, so you should look at something else. But I had a passion in that, so I knew that this is going to be a major thing in the future. So when we started, I wanted to know from how do we educate people. Now it can be very high, so I started with the technical people. So when we started with the technical people, they said, look, we are somewhat aware, thank you, but the biggest problem is our management is totally unaware about it. So that's where we started. I sold my idea for my partner Nistar Kasim, the CEO, editor of Daily FT, and we had a long discussion almost about 13 years ago. Though actually we are celebrating 10 years, for 2 years we could not have the exhibition, obvious reason during the economic crisis and the COVID. 2019 and COVID reason. So that's why we are on 10 years. Now when we had a discussion, he also thought, yeah, it's going to be the future. So how we planned the summit is that, number one, we upskill the knowledge of the technical people, where we have a full day summit, and we bring down lots of foreign experts where they share their knowledge and global experience with the local people, and that's one segment. Then also we have another segment for the top management, mainly for the CEOs and to board of directors. So we created this tagline called why cybersecurity should be a boardroom discussion. Now when we started our first cybersecurity summit, and when we send our invitations to CEOs, they say, look, we are not fully aware of cybersecurity, we don't know what it is. So I might send my CIO, Chief Information Officer, to attend this. I said, no, they know about it, you don't know, that's why you need to come. After the first year's event, the second year's event, when we announced, most of the CEOs, it's only on invitation. So when they have not got the invitations, there are loads of calls coming into us and say, where is the invitation for my CEO to attend? So we had that segment as well. For 9 years, we had that, and of course we also had a program called Night Hack, where we are telling the participants of the cybersecurity summit that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do a cyber attack. Today you go to Google, you ask Google what you want to do, that will show you step-by-step approach of how to hack certain systems. That's the level of vulnerabilities that we have. So that's where we started the cybersecurity summit, and the purpose of starting the cybersecurity summit is that. And of course the question that you asked, Indika, is where how do we put these skilled cybersecurity people into place. That's where my organization started. uplifting the skills and also bringing qualifications so that they can take a job in the market on cybersecurity.
So this year's theme for the summit is Fortifying Sri Lanka's Digital Frontiers.
Yeah.
Why this specific theme this year? It is the 10th year, it is a significant year.
Yeah.
So this theme too much must be something significant here. Why this theme?
Yes. So this year, as I said, 9 years we ran with 3 events. But this year we have multiple events reaching to each segment. Now, first we have some events that we have already completed. So the first event was the Youth Summit on Cybersecurity, where we find youth are the most vulnerable, and they go into technology much faster than any of us. And they go in, embrace technology without knowing what they're doing. It's like giving a knife to a monkey. So if you don't know how to use it, you cut yourself. So we find loads of issues, especially related to cyberbullying, and also social media misuse is happening, and they'll even leading to suicide. We see lots of suicide cases also coming into because you have been not been aware of how to use the digital platforms. So we started the Youth Summit on Cybersecurity on 29th of October. We've targeted the Western Province schools. We had about 800 students participating, and that was an excellent section where those students need to go back to the school and educate their own colleagues and the teachers how to be aware on this cybersecurity. And we are in actually this program is in association with the Ministry of Education with their permission. So we next 3 to 4 months we are going to take the same summit to the Northern Province in Jaffna, and Central Province in Kadni, and Southern Province in Galle. So those 2 are yet to come. So the next event is actually targeted for the university students who are studying on cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity is not an academic program. You learn theory, but you need to know how to practice or practically put it into in a organization level. So these students who study this in the universities, we have something called Capturing the Flag competition. It's called the CTF challenge. So that is planned on the 23rd, this Saturday. We have almost about 34 teams. I think almost all the universities have been represented, and they will be competing each other. And the person who has got the knowledge and who have the skill to capture the flag first and the fast would be the winner. So we're basically giving the winning team $1,000 worth training package of Belkasoft, which is Android or iOS mobile forensic training for each one of them. So it's about $4,000 worth training plus 200,000 rupee cash prize. Now the third event is basically going to be the CEOs forum back again, as I mentioned earlier. So this year's theme for the CEOs, the main broader theme is why cybersecurity should be a boardroom discussion. But every year we have a different theme for that particular year. So this year is the board is ready for a cyber attack, because as we hear a lot of news, corporate infrastructure has been broken, and now because of COVID, people have got used to work from home. So now you access your corporate information from different locations. Now the security professional, it has been a nightmare how to protect. Earlier, when you get everybody into the organization, you have the firewall and you protect everyone in that organization. Now you have to give access almost everyone from their own residences to log in. So it's actually a buffet table for a cyber attacker. So we are bringing that, asking the board, are you ready for a cyber attack? It's soon or late is going to come, whether the board is ready for it. So the fourth event is the annual cybersecurity summit, where we have taken 4 key topics which is relevant to the country right now. So different speakers from all over the world going to come in and cover 4 topics. One is on data breakage and leakages. Now, as Indika said, where the movies where you see the money being transferred, hack into a bank, transferred in an AC room. But that I would say is about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Today, people don't rob banks. they rob data in the bank. So for example, you rob 1 million credit card information and charge $1 each for those 1 million people. For you to realize that your credit card there's a $1 being charged, will take at least 6 to 7 months. By that time, you have robbed more than $6 to $7 million from each of them. So that's why people go behind data now. It's not behind money. So that's one topic that we are going to cover. And the second is basically the cyber scams. There's loads of social engineering attacks taking place. A lot of people do not know what social engineering is about. So they take your OTP and things like that. So we are going to cover that topic, say how to protect it, what are the things which are happening in the world. Third, we are looking at the cyber security, the age of AI. Now artificial intelligence come in, you talk about ChatGPT, you talk about machine learning, and very soon software industry is going to go dead, because there's somebody is going to create something like ChatGPT to create codes, so that then the cyber security, how it's going to be fit in. That's a third topic. And the final topic is where we feel that if there is a war takes place again, and it will definitely not be the weapons that you carry by hand, it will be by a press of a button. So, and we all know critical infrastructure even in our country is connected. So our final topic is we are going to talk about how the critical infrastructure is to be safeguarded in the cyber world. I mean, 3 weeks back or 4 weeks back, we saw the Israeli Prime Minister's residence was being attacked by an unmanned drone. So now people don't need to fly. So these are the 4 topics that we will cover. But of course, on the same day evening, that's the grand finale of the entire 10th year Cybersecurity Summit, where we have a NITAC session where we bring in down local and foreign experts and live demonstration up to the ethical area limit. What are these vulnerabilities in the world?
Yes, I think that was very detailed on how this summit is going to happen. We spoke about how it is going to happen around Sri Lanka, and especially the capturing the flag segment seems to be something very interesting to see out there as well, with a significant prize as well.
Yeah.
But this now is the 10th annual summit. So you've hosted it for 10 days despite not having it for 2 years because of the crisis that took place in the country as well.
Yeah.
So this is a significant achievement. It is a milestone in terms of the summit. So what is significant this year comparing to the previous years that this summit has been hosted? What is going to stand out this year?
Yeah, so the main standout, as I mentioned, is the 4 topic areas that we are discussing during the summit. And also what we see this year, comparatively for the last 9 years, there are loads of corporate organizations are willing to join hands with us in promoting this awareness. Huawei is actually, it's a 4th consecutive year that they have been with us. So, and if you see our advertisements, I don't want to mention the brand names, but we have almost about 10 to 12 sponsors this year, which we had about 4 to 5 in the previous years. That's the growth, I would say. And the second, year on year, we see the number of participants for the Cybersecurity Summit has been increased. I think as we speak, we have over 350 people participating. So we have, I think we have a limit of 400. The whole can have only 400. So if you are still not booked your ticket, still you have a chance to place your ticket and join the summit.
Yes, and just before we wrap this up, one last question to Mr. Bhushan as well. The summit now, how can our audience be engaged with this summit? How can they participate, or in other words, take part in this summit? Is there any specific procedure? If so,
yeah,
is the time to tell them?
they can log into our website. It's www.cybersecuritysummit.lk. So there's a QR code on our website. So by using the QR code, you can register yourself, or if not, you can call our hotline 0710 600 800. There will be someone answering the call, and you can register your name through that.
The 10th annual Cyber Security Summit, hosted by CICRA campus together with Daily FD. Now, this is not just an opportunity for a youngster, but also for the decision makers, hopefully in the future as well in the country, the CEOs and the top shots, starting from the schoolboy all the way up there. An opportunity for everyone in the country as well to see on how we can overcome these challenges we face in this rapidly evolving world, and how much cyber security plays a part in our life. And thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
And I think it was a very informative session. We were running out of time as well, so I had to manage around with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Newsfirst. Exclusive.